Is it that the law in Jamaica is rewarding cohabitation and penalizing chastity? Or is it that the law is saying if you move in, you gain rights, but if you decide to wait for marriage, you gain nothing? Is it that a fiancé in Jamaica is legally naked when it comes to legal protection, and a woman who decides to cohabit in a relationship for 5 years or more receives legal clothing and is protected by statute? What is the law? Let us unpack. Now, what is a engagement in Jamaica? An engagement is a mere promise to marry in the future. And in this jurisdiction, one can maintain an action for breach of promise to marry. In Jamaica, we still retain that legal action, and we have not abolished the breach of promise to marriage as places such as England has. The English abolished it since 1970 in their Law Reform Miscellaneous Provisions Act. We still have retained that action at law whereby one can sue for breach of promise to marry. Also, in this jurisdiction, a woman who breaks off a relationship, an engagement, is obliged to return the engagement ring, because the engagement ring is a conditional gift and it is conditional on marriage. If the fiancé, the male, the man breaks off the engagement, then the woman may keep the engagement ring. If both parties by mutual consent agree to break off the engagement, then the ring is returnable to the party who provided the ring in the first place. Now, when it comes to engagement in this jurisdiction, if there's a problem when it comes to property, the engaged parties will have to pursue their legal claim under general contract, trust, and property laws. Also, there is no cause of action for emotional damage in this jurisdiction when it comes to a breach of promise to marry. We will also look at the common law situation, common law marriage, and this is defined by at least 3 pieces of legislation in Jamaica. The first piece of legislation which defines what a common law union is the Property Rights of Spouses Act. Second piece of legislation is the Intestate Estates and Property Charges Act. And the third piece of legislation is the Maintenance Act. All 3 legislations define a common law union as being between a man and a woman who have cohabited for a period of 5 years or more. All right, for the purposes of those respective legislation. So we do not recognize same-sex unions in Jamaica. All right. Now, when it comes to property rights under the Property Rights of Spouses Act, arise as a result of contribution, as a result of domestic enterprise, and as a result of economic partnership. Now, the spouses, whether it's a man or a woman, either party can make a claim under this statute for a division of the property, that is the real estate, if there is any, the family home in particular. The law starts at equality, meaning 50-50. That's where the law starts, but it is not automatic that you will get a 50% share. It has something to do with the length of the union, how long the union subsisted for, whether there were children, whether there were contribution, and so on. All right? But the law, there's a 50-50 assumption. All right? But as I say, it's not automatic. Also, under the Intestate, Estate, and Property Charges Act, a common law spouse can gain the property of a deceased spouse, right? The spouse's estate can fall to the common law spouse. It's not automatic. One has to go to court to be declared a spouse. All right. Then you have the Maintenance Act, where the parties have lived together for 5 years or more. One of the parties may become disabled and no longer able to maintain him or herself. The disabled party can apply to the court to be declared a spouse and to apply for maintenance from his or her spouse, right? And remember, maintenance is an ongoing, I don't want to use the word lifelong, but it can be lifelong arrangement. All right? Now, also, when it comes to rights of spouses in this jurisdiction, it is not that the court is endorsing cohabitation and condemning chastity. It's that the courts, the legislatures, they are saying they are making a pragmatic, functional basis for people to not to get unjustly enriched as a result of their circumstance. Because remember, a lot of women or men contribute to these relationships. You have, they have invested emotionally and they have contributed financially. All right? So the law gives them the opportunity not to walk away without anything. All right? So I want people to understand this. It's not that the court is endorsing any moral, giving any moral endorsement to any party. It's just that it's making pragmatic, functional avenues for people to assert their rights. And the question is, should a unmarried woman who refuses to shack up or live in a relationship with a man for 5 years, once there is economic contribution, should she be able to recover? Should she be protected in law? That's the question. And I would like your comments. What do you think? Should she gain some protection? Because oftentimes these relationships exist, but for one reason, religious reasons or some moral reasons, she refuses to live with this man. Should she be protected in the law, under the law? Let me hear you in the comments. God bless until we meet again. Amen.